If an establishment like the NFL has been around since 1920, you know that there are going to be some wild records. Sure, there are plenty of stats and records you've heard of, but we're going to take you down a path of the more obscure NFL records that you probably didn't know exist. The longest non-scoring play. In 2011, wide receiver for the Vikings, Percy Harvin, returned a kickoff that had all jaws dropped as the crowd watched him make a record-setting play. It was a lengthy 104 yards during a game against the Falcons. 104 yards is the longest non-scoring play in NFL history, a record repeated by Amir Abdullah in 2015. Abdullah, a running back for the Lions, returned the second half kickoff 104 yards but was stopped 1 yard from scoring, tying him with Harvin. Abdullah didn't know he had tied an NFL record until a reporter told him after the game in the team's locker room. Abdullah laughed when he found out and said, "For real? Joke's on me." Well, joke's on all of us because we don't know if this obscure NFL record is a win or a loss. Most of the lengthier non-scoring plays are around 90 yards, so 104 is a hard record to beat if anyone wants to beat it. The longest reception return without a touchdown. On the same note, in 2018, Marcus May, the free safety for the Jets, had just 11 seconds left to go in the game against the Broncos when he made one of the weirder NFL records. The Broncos had the ball at the Jets' 3-yard line, so they decided to run one more play because why not? Their QB, Case Keenum, threw the ball into the end zone, which ended up in the hands of May. With no time to spare, May then made a 104-yard run to the Broncos' end zone for a touchdown, and although unsuccessful, as he started running out of gas and was taken down by Broncos wide receiver Courtland Sutton, the Jets still ended with a 34-16 win, and May now holds a record for the longest interception return without a touchdown with 104 yards. Try saying that 10 times. The only mascot to have a game stat. The first and probably last mascot to ever have a game statistic belongs to none other than Mr. Mischief himself, Sir Purr. The Panthers mascot caused quite a stir in a December 1996 game against the Steelers. How could anyone forget that play? On a Panthers punt that landed in the end zone and in the direction of Sir Purr, the feline dove into the end zone and pounced on the live ball to down the punt, where the play was then declared a touchback by the referee. Sir Purr was wearing a Santa suit too, which made the play all the more wilder. The crowd loved it, obviously, and even the Steelers coach Bill Cowher doubled over in laughter. Sir Purr officially finished the game with one punt return for 0 yards, and no other mascot can ever say the same. Keeping Super Bowl wins in the family. The Colquitts are the first father and 2 sons to each have won a Super Bowl. No other family has achieved that. It's kind of surprising when you think of the Mannings and the Matthews. Craig Colquitt is a former punter for the Steelers who won 2 Super Bowls in Pittsburgh in 1978 and 1979. His younger son Britton, also a punter, won a Super Bowl with the Broncos in 2016, and Craig's older son Dustin, another punter, won the Super Bowl with the Chiefs in the 2019 season. Ever since last season, they hold the record for the first father and sons trio to have won the most prized rings in the NFL. Punting may have been a family affair, but now so is winning Super Bowls. There are a lot of families in the NFL, with former players coaching their sons to greatness, but none except the Colquitts, where the father actually won a Super Bowl himself. Fastest touchdown in NFL history. Playing for the Cowboys against the Eagles in 2003, wide receiver Randall Williams ran the fastest touchdown in NFL history. How fast? 3 seconds. On the opening play of the game, the Eagles attempted an onside kick, but Williams caught the ball and returned it 37 yards for a TD. The play, which set up a 23-21 Cowboys win, took just 3 seconds off the clock, giving Williams this amazing record we don't think anyone might ever beat for a long time. 3 touchdowns in less than a minute. During a game in 2012 against the Jets, the Patriots scored 3 touchdowns in 52 seconds, becoming only the 3rd team since 1970 to do so, according to the Elias Sports Bureau. This was during the infamous 2012 Thanksgiving butt fumble game, where they won 49-19. What was the butt fumble game, you ask? Well, in front of a crowd of 79,000 fans at MetLife Stadium and in front of a television audience of over 20 million, the Jets QB Mark Sanchez collided with the rear end of his teammate, offensive lineman Brandon Moore, causing a fumble, which was then recovered by the Patriots safety Steve Gregory and returned for a touchdown. A little embarrassing, but hopefully the bigger takeaway is the 3 TDs in 52 seconds. Guess what? It's not. Over 40s Club. Being over 40 in the NFL and still having an active career is award-winning enough, but there are only 3 NFL players to catch a pass after turning 40. You can probably guess who those players are: Jerry Rice, Tom Brady, and Brett Favre. Football careers tend to be brief, and because of the physically demanding nature of it, a lot of players, even successful ones, barely make it to 30 when they talk of retiring. So this record is pretty brilliant. Oldest head coach to win the Super Bowl. At 66 years old, Bill Belichick is the oldest coach to win the Super Bowl when his team, the Patriots, won in the 2018 season. Belichick has been coaching since 1975 and has been coaching the Patriots since 2000. That's a long time. He's said to be one of the greatest coaches in NFL history and has won 6 Super Bowls as head coach. If he's lasted this long, surely he has to be one of the greatest, right? Belichick won the record for the oldest head coach to win the Super Bowl by just 1 year, as Tom Coughlin held this title when the Giants won the Super Bowl in 2012 when he was 65 years old. Which begs the question, why are the head coaches so old? Consecutive coin tosses won. In what can best be described as an incredibly strange record, the NFC has won an incredible 14 consecutive Super Bowl coin tosses. Beginning with the Green Bay Packers in Super Bowl 32 in 1998, up through the Packers in Super Bowl 45 in 2011, the NFC was winning in coin flips. This record hasn't exactly translated to Super Bowl winning, however, as the NFC has a record of 5-9 in the game itself over that same time span. Too bad. Tom Brady and the 5 touchdowns. Sounding like the title of the next Harry Potter book, in one quarter, the GOAT Tom Brady managed 5 touchdown passes. In a 2009 game, it all came undone for Tennessee during the second quarter, when Brady just couldn't stop connecting with his receivers in the end zone. His 5 touchdown passes set a record for most touchdown passes thrown in a quarter, and he finished the game with a total of 6. If someone ever questions if Brady is the GOAT, just point to this. Record for losing 4 straight Super Bowls. Well, we guess it's great that the Buffalo Bills have won something. From 1991 to 1994, the Bills made it all the way to appear in each season's Super Bowl. Getting there is a win, but they ended up losing each of those 4 championship games. To be fair, no other team has made it to the Super Bowl 4 years in a row, but losing each year has got to hurt. It seems like they never really recovered. The longest field goal. In December 2013, Broncos place kicker Matt Prater made history with his calf muscles, connecting on a 64-yard field goal at the end of the first half in a game against the Titans. They won that game 51-28, and according to ESPN.com, Prater said, "Such an awesome moment. I'm glad it came in a win." It was crazy. It was awesome because almost the whole team rushed the field after that kick. It was definitely a momentum swing. Most consecutive starters. Quarterback Brett Favre's streak of 297 consecutive games started over 19 seasons is the longest of all time. The following QB is Phillip Rivers at 224, and among defensive players, Jim Marshall's 270 is the longest. Favre's streak, which dates back to 1992, ended because of a right shoulder injury he sustained in a game in 2010 against the Bills. Jeff Anderson, a spokesperson for the Vikings who Favre was playing for at the time, announced to the public that the 41-year-old Favre was inactive on Twitter. Vikings inactives: 12, 19, 25, 31, 76, 90, 91, and 4. The streak ends. Well, it may have ended, but it's still gonna be hard to beat. Most receiving yards in a game. Willie Lee Flipper Anderson Jr., wide receiver for the Rams, set the NFL record for most receiving yards in a game with 336 against the Saints in 1989, eclipsing the previous record of 309. The closest a player has come to breaking the record was Calvin Johnson when he put up 329 yards in 2013. It's one of those records you think would have been broken in today's pass-happy league, yet it still stands over 30 years later. Jim Everett, the Rams QB at the time, said, "Those weren't short, easy passes. He was going up in traffic, pulling them down and beating the corner. He had a special night." It's been many years since Anderson, now 55, has seen the footage of his epic game. Apparently it's on a VHS somewhere in his house, but finding a VHS player is a whole other ballgame. According to Alan Siegel, Anderson recounted the game, saying, "Everything that was thrown to me, I just caught." He recalled thinking afterward, "This is what Michael Jordan must feel like." Well, there you have it. We're betting there's definitely some NFL records you didn't know existed until now. Let us know what you think in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. See you next time.